First question, how did the coaches help your sister develop as an athlete?
Well, I think first of all, the coaches made the sport fun, fun and loose, and I think the kids respond to that really well. For a lot of them, especially my sister, they love to compete, but the most important thing is having a good time and showing support for the other athletes.
What about lessons learned? I mean, sport teaches us a lot of stuff, and what lessons has she learned?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is giving her confidence in her ability, and I think for us, my family, we were amazed that she picked up swimming. It's probably one of the hardest Special Olympic sports, and she picked it up pretty good, and loves to compete, loves to go on road trips. She packs for practice, a day or two before the practice, and really enjoys herself.
What about accomplishments? I mean, part of this is the competition for all of us, but what do you look at in the accomplishment she's had, and maybe anything that stands out to you?
Well, she's got all her trophies and ribbons up in her room, and I don't think that's the most important thing for Special Olympic athletes, and especially my sister, is just the experience. She goes to New York State Championships every year and takes the bus up, rides the bus with all the athletes, and stays in the dorms with everybody. And I think just the experience, the competitive environment is something that these kids really respond to.
And it seems like this is quite empowering, isn't it? It must be great for your whole family just to celebrate the love of sport, the love of your sister, and coming together this way.
Oh, certainly. I think my dad's gone on record saying he's more impressed with my sister than anything I've done. So, for our family to see the personal growth and my sister become more mature, more confident, make new friends, be able to respond to maybe some criticism that she wasn't able to before, due to that confidence. We see that in spades now.
For you, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from sport?
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. Humility, how to deal with successes, how to deal with failures, accountability, responsibility of myself and my teammates. You can go on and on. I think sports can teach you pretty much every life lesson there is.
What about your perspective on coaches and coaching as you went through your career, and even now in the job that you're doing? Has it changed at all about who they are and what they can do for you as not only an athlete but a person?
I've always been a player that responded well to coaches. I think if I didn't have a good relationship with the coach, I think my play suffered. My personal relationship with that coach suffered. But I always found and the same thing goes for Special Olympians, is if a coach believed in me, had confidence in me, offered positive criticism, and was honest with me, that I certainly benefited from that type of coaching.
Now in your role in player development, what are your goals, or maybe that's too big. What do you look to do with a young player to help them develop the most important things you kind of touch on at the beginning and as you work through their process of trying to make the NHL?
Well, for me, on this side with the Canucks, working in player development, I think the first thing I can do is give these guys confidence. I think that it's a fleeting thing, especially in pro sports, especially playing in Canada, where sometimes that negative cloud can follow you. And I think the second thing is identifying what type of player and what type of person they're going to be at the NHL level. A lot of these kids are the best players on their team, and they come and they have to adapt and evolve. And that's the same thing with the Special Olympians as well, is their ability to adapt and evolve, learn new skills, and apply them, and then you'll start seeing some success.
Coaching, like most things, evolves over time, and back in the day, the coach maybe told you to do something, but has it changed for you in the way you communicate with your players and make sure that they have the information they need? Do you find you're telling them more stuff than maybe you even got as a player?
Well, certainly, I think from a player development standpoint, I got drafted by the Canadians, and I didn't really talk to them for 2 years until I signed with them. So, the benefit of our player development staff, different brains, all these guys that I work with, Hank and Danny Sedin, Mike Komisarek, Michael Samuelson, Ryan Johnson, we all have different strengths. And in the NHL, you have to learn to play to your strengths. So it's 5 or 6 guys that are showing their strengths and helping give the players that they're working with their strengths. And it's all different. It's all different components of the game. So I think these kids are going to flourish under all these different type of tactics and strategies and ways of thinking about the game and trying to take bits and pieces from everybody.
Lastly, any general advice, coach to coach, or as you do what you do and these coaches here do what they do, that, you know, is it an openness? What is it that they have to have, a willing to learn? Like, you know, coach to coach, if you had to give some advice, what would it be?
I think you know, coach to coach for as far as advice is setting attainable goals, easily attainable goals, the small incremental, you know, daily goals that you can accomplish. I think if you put too much on a guy's plate early on, you know, maybe they get discouraged, they get down, they lose their confidence. But small incremental steps, positive reinforcement, you know, a consistent message. These are things that athletes respond to.